and let us all do we can to build a better future.
Saving the best for last, George Galloway. Old George. He's landing in London, and he's triggering so many people. We already know that he's shaking the foundations of the parliament system, and already the unelected, I'm sorry, the British Prime Minister who was installed, started bringing up concerns about democracy and vileness on both sides. Had his words to say to George Galloway. Galloway had his own words to say as well, especially when he landed in London, England. So let's play this video.
Thank you very much, John, mayoral candidate. Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for gathering in these numbers in this cold night. But it is important that you did so. I, too, am not a stranger to this area. Some of my grandchildren were born in the hospital here. Some of my children and grandchildren live in this borough. And so it was with great happiness that I agreed to come here from Parliament this evening to support John Hamilton for mayor. For mayor because of the reasons adumbrated so ably by others, including John himself. Of course, elections are not the be-all and end-all. Winning elections is not the be-all and end-all. What is our duty is to stand up for what's right on any platform, in any forum, in any election that we possibly can. And ultimately, as the Rabbi said, we will prevail. Peace will prevail. Justice will prevail. If not in our time, then in the time of our children and their children. And we have a duty. If you're a religious believer, we have a judgment day at which we'll be asked what we did for justice, what we did for freedom. And this is the latest campaign that we are in. We had an historic victory in Rochdale last Thursday night. And I believe that politics has changed as a result, not just of my victory, but of the government's panicked response to it. When little Napoleon Rishi...
Oh, Rishi started panic. I don't know who that person was in the background yelling at him, but that was whoever that person was. You got a beautiful voice. I hope that these words do get to you. Yeah, that loud voice, and we loved it.
Sunak with his elevator heels.
Oh,
Climbed on.
Oh, hey, yo, George, Mr. Galloway, sir. There's only one person who wears high heels in this world, and that is Ron the Sanctimonious, okay? Our guy can take your guy on.
That hastily erected podium at the state's expense to make an attack on democracy and to make an attack on my constituents. He showed the state of panic that now exists, and I can tell you, having just left Westminster in the last hour and a bit, that everywhere there is a shiver running along the benches in the House of Commons, looking for a spine to run up, and failing so far to find one. They are in a state of panic because what happened in Rochdale was not just a victory for the Workers' Party, but a defeat for the two establishment parties of the state. Both of the cheeks of the same backside got a kicking, got a spanking in the same evening, in the same hall, in the same town of Rochdale. Not only did they fail to win, they failed to come second. They only just came third.
Third place. By the way, just so in case you guys forgot, here is the a British Prime Minister, the selected. Selected. The high heel. Whoa, hey, there's only one high heel guy, and that's the sanctimonious.
In recent weeks and months, we have seen a shocking increase in extremist disruption and criminality. What started...
And in the background, somebody is yelling. Whoever that person is, whoever you are, may the angels protect you forever.
As protests on our streets has descended into intimidation, threats, and planned acts of violence. Jewish children fearful to wear their school uniform, lest it reveal their identity. Muslim women abused in the street for the actions of a terrorist group they have no connection with. Now our democracy itself is a target. Council meetings and local events have been stormed. MPs do not feel safe in their homes. Long-standing parliamentary conventions have been upended because of safety concerns. And it is beyond alarming.
Now, everything this Prime Minister is saying, and I've played this before, is absolutely pure BS. People of Great Britain, I'm so sorry this is the guy that they selected to be your leader. All right, watch. I bet a lot of people from the UK are going to say, oh, he's not my leader. You take that back. I will take it back. But whoever that person is with that voice, I like to interview you. Whoever you are. Man, because that is what you call a voice right there. That is what you call a voice.
Last night, the Rochdale by-election returned a candidate who dismisses the horror of what happened on October the 7th, who glorifies Hezbollah, and is endorsed by Nick Griffin.
Who is that person with the voice?
Leader of the BNP.
Who is that person?
I need to speak to you all this evening because this situation has gone on long enough and demands a response not just from government, but from all of us. Britain is a patriotic, liberal, democratic society.
Patriotic, liberal. Oh, boy. Vomiting in my brain.
With a proud past and a bright future. We're a reasonable country and a decent people. Our story is one of progress, of great achievements and enduring values. Immigrants who have come here have integrated and contributed. They have helped write the latest chapter in our island story. They have done this without being required to give up their identity. You can be a practicing Hindu and a proud Briton as I am, or a devout Muslim and a patriotic citizen as so many are, or a committed Jewish person and the heart of your local community, and all underpinned by the tolerance of our established Christian church.
Whoever you are in that background, you're beautiful. I love you, man.
And the Labour Party came fifth, or is it sixth? This is unprecedented. Never in the history of British politics have Labour and the Conservatives in the same election scored such a disastrous failure. And suddenly they know that people despise them. The Sky News interviewer that appeared aghast.
Oh, yeah. Hey, George, man. It's like that episode of The Simpsons where Homer was crusty and he beat up the Hamburglar guy. And, just the beating that you gave him, there's probably somebody in the background like, stop it. He's already dead. Stop it, man. Stop it. You murdered him. It was a murder.
That I might not respect the Prime Minister. Didn't appear to know.
Hey, folks, if you live in Great Britain or if you don't live in Great Britain, do you respect the British Prime Minister? Type 1 for yes, Kit. You need to respect all our leaders. You awful, awful man. You shameful, awful human being. Type 1 if you say we should respect the UK Prime Minister. Type 2, hell no. Hell no. He was selected, not elected, baby. I wonder how many twos will get in the chat. Hey, Great Britain. I need all the British people to step up, boot up, suit up.
That millions of us despise the Prime Minister. We despise the Prime Minister. And we despise his opposite number, if anything, even more. even more because I always say that the TV never run this. If there's any TV here, I promise you they won't run it. As
But Hardlands Media will.
Malcolm X said, the wolf, when it comes towards you, you're in no doubt about its intentions. But the fox appears to be smiling, although its intentions are precisely the same. We genuinely believe that the Conservatives and the Labour Party are disastrous for our people, disastrous for our country, not just on war and peace, to which I shall now turn, but on the living standards of our own people here at home. They really are two cheeks of the same arse. They follow the same economic policy. They have the same attitude to wealth and power in our own country. There is no lesser of two evils in this picture. I never believed in that approach to politics anyway, because evil always wins if you vote for the lesser of two evils. But
Truth right there.
now, no one can seriously maintain that Keir Starmer is the lesser of two evils. I could make a good case that Keir Starmer is even more evil than Rishi Sunak and the Conservative Party that he's supposed to be opposing. And here in local government, the same is exactly true. Who can say that Sadiq Khan is better than Boris Johnson? They were both bloody awful mayors of London for the ordinary people of this great metropolis. Who can
And Boris Johnson also had a terrible haircut too, by the way.
say that Labour in Lewisham is better than the Conservatives, will build more homes than the Conservatives, will treat the working class in this borough better than the Conservatives? Somebody shouted me, but he would have a very difficult job of showing me the reasons why anyone should vote Labour on Thursday in this by-election. And I turn to the elephant in the room, which a surprising number of people in politics imagine is something we can overlook, is something we can ignore, that will not affect the way we vote. You said it was controversial, John, your poster. But if you vote Tory or Labour, you are voting for genocide. You are
Very true on that. And look, I just want to bring up this interview that happened on Sky. Right? Just the last part of it. Because, again, we played this in a previous other segment, and the crowd first wasn't showing up, and then this crowd starts showing in mass around George. And this guy from Sky News, he wasn't ready. He wasn't built for this. He's a baby. No chin, no nothing. He's so weak. Look at him. He's a baby.
Now we have now had an election where two of the candidates have alleged intimidation. The Prime Minister referenced that intimidation in his address on the steps of
to the Prime Minister as if that's supposed to impress me. The Prime Minister is the Prime Minister is a rather diminished and degraded politician.
Diminutive, diminished, and degraded. Duck, dodge, dip, dot. You know what? That's it. I've decided. Movie night Thursday. We're watching Dodgeball. We're watching Dodgeball. We're watching Dodgeball for movie night.
He made a party political statement. I don't care about Rishi Sunak's attitude. What I care about is that the returning officer, a man of unimpeachable integrity, I'm sure you'll agree, declared it a free and fair election and me as the winner, and Rishi Sunak as one of the crushed two big parties in the state.
So why are two candidates
keep repeating the same questions to me because I have other people to talk to.
George, show up on Hardlands Media. I'm just going to send that invite again.
So let's make this the last one, shall we?
Allegations of intimidation, allegations that your supporters intimidated
That's
other candidates.
Five
What do you
times you've said that. The returning officer declared it last night. You were there as a free and fair election, and me as the winner.
And the Electoral Commission today have said that they're going to look and talk to the parties.
Have to just suck it up. I won the election.
Oh! Suck it up. I just wanted to pause his face right there. Look at him. His he's probably crying home right now. Like, oh, George made fun of me. Look at that face. Now, of course, I want to pull up one last video here. This is from RT. Britain's commitment to free speech is a farce, as George Galloway has claimed, fresh from his election to the British Parliament. George Galloway spoke with RT on Tuesday about the state of media freedom in Britain and London's disastrous policies in the Middle East and Ukraine. Galloway trounced both Tory and Labour candidates. Well done. And good old Shaky Rashik, or Rishi. Shaky Rishi. That's what I'm going to call him. Hey, people of Great Britain. All right. This is only for a British person to answer. Okay. If you're a British person, you got to be honest. What do you think about that? Shaky Rishi. You know, I think that's a good nickname for him. Denounced the result as beyond alarming and a threat to democracy itself. Okay, whatever. Yeah. The people voted. People used the democratic method to vote for a candidate. He said candidate won, but somehow that's a threat to democracy. Okay. Woogie boogie boogie. Hey, that's three-dimensional chess there right there, Shaky Rishi. All right. Anyways, as Galloway pointed out, however, he has been elected to Parliament a total of 7 times, far more than Sunak or Shaky Rishi or Labour leader Keir Starmer, or whatever. I can't think of a nickname. If I see what they look like, I'll make fun of them. These people are hypocrites. They are. Things like democracy, human rights, rule of law, rules based on international order. It's just lipstick on a pig. Oink, oink, oink. They wipe the lipstick off whenever they no longer feel the need to look prettier. Oh, come on, man, George. Stop making fun of people. Of course, British authorities have banned RT and the Iranian Press TV outright, refused to renew the license to China's CGTN, and blocked outlets like Venezuela's Telesur. So here's the thing. We here in the United States, and I guess even in Great Britain, they're censoring press. Now, the thing is, if our media and Great Britain's media is so powerful and correct, they should not be afraid of RT or Press TV or China's CGNT or anything from Venezuela or anywhere else. You should be confident that your reporters and the people running your news agencies know how to do their jobs. Fact check. Unless it turns out that the neoliberal media can't fact check because they're laying people off and firing journalists because corporate media is owned by corporations that don't want people to be informed about how corporations are screwing us over and buying our democracy. True. And again, he even brings up how his good friend Julian Assange is in prison in the Belmarsh security. So again, look, you cannot be afraid of free speech. I just want to pull up this boy's face one more time, because here's the thing. All establishment media, that's what they're feeling right now. No one's buying. No one. That was George. And it's a perfect way. That was George. That was George who gave you a firm smack in the mouth. This is why we need independent media. This is why we need free speech. And well done again to George Galloway for speaking truth to power. And good luck to you on your term. Good luck to you in Parliament. You got a lot of enemies there, but I think they're more scared of you. So knock them out. Do that home run homer. And we do invite George Galloway to be on our show. So George has landed in London, folks. We'll see how it turns out.